We talk a lot on our KSAT Q&A about the physical and the mental effects of COVID-19, but what about the economic effects? Romanita Mata Barrera is the executive director of SA Works. It's the workforce team within the San Antonio Economic Development Foundation. They completed a study on unemployment and jobs in San Antonio. Romanita, thank you for joining us. What was the big takeaway for you from that study?
Certainly, and thank you both for having me, Stephen and Myra. What was really critical was to see how at the height of the pandemic during the summer months is when we experienced the largest job losses and in industries that are key to our community and loved: the leisure, the hospitality, the retail, and the restaurant industry. But the upside to that and the positive story there is that we also started to see some job gains within those sectors in the latter part of the year, starting around October, September, November, as folks started to get back to some level of normality. And then in key sectors that we track specifically at the Economic Development Foundation are high growth, high demand areas like manufacturing, logistics, distribution, IT, cybersecurity. A lot of those stayed steady and actually grew just because of where we were. We were working from home, working remotely, therefore relying much more on technology as well as ordering products to come to our homes. So the logistics transportation industry really grew. So there's some balanced news there to be shared.
Did this study indicate who in our community may have been hit the hardest, may have been impacted the most by job losses?
Absolutely. We track that in partnership with Workforce Solutions Alamo. They're able to drill down demographically, and we saw the most impacted individuals were those folks 34 years and younger. And in many cases, it's because they are also perhaps a little less experienced, less skilled. They were in those low wage jobs and in those sectors that were most impacted. And in terms of gender, we saw more females impacted, which is something that we want to continue to track because, as you can imagine, we have a lot of females who are also heads of household. And the impact may still continue for them, not only in terms of job losses, but when we also think about the current situation where everyone's at with childcare needs and students still learning from home, and what will that mean for females? But a lot of those individuals, young females, and over 83% of those folks had a high school equivalency or less. So that really creates that sense of urgency, a conversation that we've been having in terms of the importance of educational attainment.
Are you concerned at all that people are going to give up, that they've been looking for a job for a long time? A lot of these head of households, that people are just going to give up and not think that there's help out there?
Well, I don't want them to give up. I don't think any of us do, Stephen and Myra. And I think I am so proud of in our community is that we have seen the philanthropic community, the private sector, and I would say most definitely our public sector. You just had them both, the judge and the mayor, who in their respective county and city budgets have invested a lot of funding specifically into workforce recovery and training. So it's a combination of training or direct job placement and all of the support services needed to help someone be successful in gaining employment potentially in a new sector. So I would tell folks, I know that we are living through very trying times, but the resources are there, and a lot of organizations have been stood up to help individuals get into training or get back to work.
Can you round out this interview by giving us an overall picture of how our local economy is faring at this point? And are we at the point of being on the road to recovery, or are we too early, not there yet?
I'm an optimist at heart, Myra, so I am going to say we are on the road to recovery. And again, it is intentional. I'd like to say I'm an intentional optimist because our city, our county, the private sector have put their funding into our greatest asset, and that is building our human capital. And so I'd like to say take advantage, for these training opportunities and on-the-job training opportunities where there's paid stipends available to individuals. So there's a lot of resources that have been put in place. So I like to look at this optimistically, and from a jobs perspective, I think our jobs report attests to that there's some stability in a lot of key sectors.
All right, one more question before I let you go, Romanita. Somebody's at home, they're frustrated, they're looking for a job, maybe new training. One place they can go to start that journey.
You got it, 311. You can access a plethora of resources through that number, from training to actual other support services that you may need. And happy to direct folks there.
Great. Romanita Mata-Barrera, Executive Director of SA Works. That's a workforce team within the San Antonio Economic Development Foundation. Appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you both.
We'll be right back.